So as you know, in previous session we have gone through the couple or moment, what is the meaning of moment, how to find the moment, and a simple numerical on the calculation of moment of a force. So today we'll move towards movement of a couple. So what is mean by the movement of a couple? So the movement is generally produced by two equal and opposite forces. So movement is nothing but force into perpendicular distance. When the movement is produced by two equal and opposite parallel non-collinear forces, then such movement is termed as couple. So in this figure you can see, in this first figure there are two forces in opposite directions. So let we will assume this direction towards leftward as a negative and towards rightward as a positive. So these are the two opposite forces, but both are the parallel and have a distance d meter apart. So the movement caused by this force is F into d, and this F into d movement is nothing but the couple. Now how to find this movement of a couple? So let us assume there is a O point. We have to take movement of this couple from this O point. So let's take movement of both the forces from this O point. So M will be equals to F into A plus D for this force, this positive force. So from O, the distance is A plus D. So movement of this force will be F into A plus D. What about this negative force? This minus F multiplied by O, distance between O and the line of action of this minus force or negative force is A. So minus F into A. So if we resolve this FA in FA will get cancelled. We'll get M equals to FD. This is our moment of a couple. Now in other way, we can also get this value in the vector form. Suppose there is x, y, z. This is the coordinate system. There are two force vectors, positive and negative. Both are, suppose the point of origin of this positive force is A, which is at an distance vector, that is Ra from the origin, and this force, negative force, have origin point B, which is at an distance vector of Rb from the origin point O. So we have to find the movement vector about this O point. So movement about O for this F force or this F force vector will be F multiplied by this Ra, and for this minus or negative force will be minus F multiplied by Rb. Now if we compare this triangle made by this Ra, Rb, and the distance between A and B origin point, that is R. So by observing this triangle we can say R equals to Ra plus Rb, or we can say Ra plus R is equals to Rb. Okay. So by rearranging we can get Ra minus Rb into F. So F is common, so Ra minus Rb into F. So again Ra minus Rb is nothing but R vector, as we have already gone through this vector calculation. So movement will be equals to R into F. This R is distance between these two origin points A and B. Now this is the inclined distance. Now what about this perpendicular distance between negative and positive force, that is D distance. So if we compare this small triangle, the angle theta, by taking this angle theta, we can say sine theta is equals to opposite D divided by hypotenuse R, or we can say R equals to D, or D is equals to R sine theta. Okay, so if we take M equals to R sine theta into F, so it will be equals to F into D. This is nothing but our movement of a couple in the vector pattern. So likewise we can find the movement. So moment vector of a couple is independent of the choice of the origin coordinate axis. From any other axis we can find the moment of this couple system. So again there are some properties of moment of like we have studied properties or characteristics of force. So what was the properties or characteristics of force? Force vector of force should have magnitude, direction. Okay, so likewise here movement of a couple also have some properties or some characteristics. So two couples will have equal movement if, so you can say in these two planes f1 and this f2 both are at a distance of d1 and d2 respectively in different manner. So these two are horizontal f1 and these two f2 are vertical forces. So if we take movement of the resultant force, so we can say the movement of the couple of two equal forces will be equals to, or the moment of the two equal forces will be equals, there will be equal couple in such system. So we can say f1 into d1 will be equals to f2 into d2. What is the property? The two couples will have equal movements if f1 into d1 equals to f2 into d2. So the movement generation at any origin point will be same. Now two couples lies in parallel planes. Two couples lies in parallel planes means the forces should be in a two parallel planes, not in the perpendicular planes. The two couples have the same sense or the tendency to cause the rotation in the same direction. So understand this property, we can see the example of this cuboid. So if for the rotation of this cuboid about its axis, so we have applied these two forces, the negative force and positive force. Now the side of this cuboid is d. So if we apply at this top corner such system of force, it will move like this, or there will be formation of couple M like this. Now if we change the position of these two forces but the direction will be same, just we are changing the position, so there will be no change of the rotation effect. Okay, so in the second figure you can see we have applied the forces but in the same direction, but position is towards the downward side. Here upward corner we have applied, now here down, at the downward corner we have applied the force system. Now again there will be formation of same couple, so there will be same rotational movement. Now again if we change the position of the force system, likewise in the third diagram, here the positive force is applied at the one corner and at the opposite corner the negative force is applied. So there will be again same formation of movement, or there will be same rotation on the cuboid. So likewise two couples have the same sense or the tendency to cause the same direction. Now how to find or how to add the two couples? So let's learn about the addition of the couples. Now let's consider two intersecting planes P1 and P2. So these two planes intersect at this yellow line, that is R vector, distance between A and B origin points. So at A origin point there are application of two forces F1 and F2, where F1 is along the P1 plane and F2 is along the P2 plane. Now at the origin point B, again there are two forces F1 and F2, but there are the opposite directions. The F1 is in same P1 plane but in opposite direction, and F2 is in the same plane but in opposite direction, that is in P2 plane. So there will be formation of resultant like this positive R and negative R, you can see at the origin points A and B respectively. Now if we take moment M1, so we can see M1 is equals to R into F1 along the plane P1. If we take moment, there will be M1 will be equals to this F1, the two opposite forces. Distance between these two forces is R, so R into F1, or we can say R into F2 for the P2 plane. So for this P2 plane, along the P2 plane there is the action of forces F2, positive and negative. So you can see the movement for the P2 plane will be M2 equals to R into F2. Now let's find the resultant movement vector, movement of a resultant of these two forces. Now here as you see these forces are in equal in opposite directions, so the resultant will be also in equal magnitude and opposite directions. So if we take movement along the resultant plane, so we will take movement m equals to r vector multiplied by the resultant capital R. So again we know r vector is nothing but equals to f1 plus f2. We can replace it with f1 plus f2. So m will be equals to r into f1 plus f2. This is the movement of the resultant. Now if we observe the Varignon's theorem, which we already learned, the movement of a resultant about any origin point will be equals to the movement of the component of the resultant about the same point. So if we apply this Varignon's theorem, we can say m will be equals to r into f1 plus r into f2. So r into f1 is nothing but movement about p1 plane m1, r into f2 is nothing but movement about p2 plane m2. Okay, so we can say m equals to m1 plus m2, or we can say movement of the resultant will be equals to sum of the movement of the component forces. So sum of the two couples is also a couple that is equals to the vector sum of two couples. Got it? So sum of the two couples is equals to this vector sum of the two individual couples. So likewise we can go for the addition of the couples. Got it? Okay. Now let's move towards couple vectors. So as we have learned about force vectors, so you can see a couple can be represented by a vector with magnitude and direction equal to the movement of the couple. Just we have seen movement and movement of a couple will be same about any origin point. So in first figure you can see there are two forces equal and opposite, minus f and positive f, for forming a couple magnitude f into d. So there will be equals to movement about their origin axis m equals to f into d. This will be couple formation, and this will be again equals to, if we transfer this toward the origin point, they will be same. So if we take component of this m movement as it's three dimensional, we can see, so in x direction mx, in y direction my, in z direction it will be mz. So couple vectors obeys the laws of addition of vector. So likewise we have did for f equals to fx plus fy plus fz. Okay, so here also the same law we have to apply. Now couple vectors are three vectors, that is the point of application is not significant. So it is not, we don't know the actual plane and actual position of the couple, so we will consider it as a three dimensional or in a space. So we can find the three component of the couple also, or movement also. Now this couple also can be resolved into three components as we have just said, mx, my and mz in three different coordinate system or different planes. So these are the couple vectors. So let's get understood about the couple with an example. So just in previous session I have given an example of a bike, sorry, of a car or a big vehicle like truck, of their axle or of their driving wheel. Okay, so movement required to turn the shaft connected at the center of the wheel is equal to 12 newton meter for the first figure. You can see, so here 40 newton, there are two opposite forces we applied with the help of hand at the inner side of the wheel, which is a distance of 0.3 meter apart. So if we find the couple, or if we find the rotation at this origin center, so we can find 40 into 0.3, it will give 3, it will be give 12 newton meter of a couple. So in case 1 it will be 12 newton meter. How we have find? Force into perpendicular distance. So the application of couple or moment will be here we have applied. Now in second case we can see we have increased distance between the forces. So in first case the hands were stuck in the inner side of the wheel, and in the second figure we can see we have applied force at the outer side of the wheel. So there will be increase in distance between these two application of forces. So for the same rotation, for the same movement, we can require less effort by increasing the distance between the two force of application. So in case 2, couple of moment produced by 30 Newton equals to same 12 Newton meter. So what is the change? If we increase the distance between, we can reduce the force applied for the same movement requirement. Now if only one hand is used, the force required in case 1 will be 80 Newton. So if we apply only, if we have used only one hand, so there will be increased effort by the 80 Newton. In the second case, if we use only one hand, it will require more effort as compared to the 30. We have to require more effort, 30 multiplied to, that is 60. So for one hand, in first case 40 Newton, in second case for individual heads it requires 3 Newton if we use two hands. Okay, if we reduce one hand, apply or drive by single hand, there will be increase in effort required by that hand, that is 80 and 60 Newton, you can observe. So what is the shaft? What if the shaft is not connected at the center of the wheel? If the shaft is not connected, just think over it. If the shaft is not connected at the center of the wheel, what will happen? Is it a free vector? So these are the questions you have to think over it. What will happen if the shaft is not connected at the center? Shaft should be connected at the center of the wheel. Why? The movement applied on the wheel will be along the centroidal axis. Okay, so to transfer the maximum application of torque, application of movement, shaft should be connected at the origin of the wheel where the total movement is going to concentrate. Okay, so hope you have understood the about the movement and movement of a couple and its application in day-to-day life. So let's move towards the equivalent system. So in first figure we can see at B we have sticked a rod and at A we have applied a horizontal force. So for balance of this force, if we apply the force at B, it will be equal and opposite, but there will be no generation movement. Why? Because the line of action of these two forces is applied and the generated force will be are same, so are passing through the same line, so there will be no generation of movement. For the generation of movement, what is the requirement? The forces should be parallel, or forces should be in two parallel planes. So in second figure we can see at A there is a downward force F is applied. So this A is at a distance D apart from the B. So for the generation of movement or for the balancing system, if we apply or to get the equivalent force system along with the couple, so we have to apply equal and opposite forces at the B point. So these upward force and the downward force available at A will form couple because these two are equal and opposite and at a distance apart. So it will cause a movement of M equals to F into D, and there will be extra force F. So this F and this movement applied at B are equivalent to the force applied at A. So this is nothing but the equivalent system. So what we have did, we have transferred the effect of this force F at A towards B with no change in the body. So that is equal effect So for the providing equal figure, we have converted the single force into a force and a couple system. So how to, what is the basic funda in this? So suppose this is B point. So at B point, we have to convert the single force applied at A as a couple and a force. So we know the couple is nothing but force into perpendicular distance, and in this two forces are applied in equal and opposite directions. Okay, so at A there is a force F applied. So for the formation of couple there will be a force F but in opposite direction, which is parallel to this force at A. But for the equilibrium condition there should be no force, so we will apply two equal and opposite force so that there will be no change. So if we apply these two forces, negative F and positive F, so their resultant will be 0 at the B point. So there is no any effect over the body. But these two forces, negative F and negative force acting at B and positive force acting at A, these two forces are parallel and in opposite directions. So this, it will form a couple. Where it will be acting? It will act at point P. And again we have applied this force. So for this system, as shown in the figure 1, the force F is applied at A will be converted into a force and a couple system at B with no change in the body. So for example, you can see in the left side figure, at the signal point there are two signals having weight W1 and W2 at a distance of D1 and D2 apart from this junction point O. So to provide equal and opposite effect at O, there should be resultant force applied WR. That WR should be equals to equivalent of W1 and W2, that is WR will be equals to W1 plus W2. So movement at O will be equals to W1 into D1 plus W2 into D2. Okay, so we can say the movement or equivalent force system and couple applied at O will be equals to WR downward multiplied by or along with the movement of a couple MRO. Okay, this is the equivalent system at point O. Why this is required? To design this joint to carry these two loads. Okay, so that's why we have to learn about this point. Now this is the example for the equivalent system. Let's study more about this equivalent system, or what does they mean by resultant, or why we have to find. So here in figure 1 you can see there are three forces applied on a strip F1, F2, F3, which are at distance of D1, D2 and D3 from the left hand, over which we have provided a grip. So if we replace these three forces from single force, that the effect of that single force should be equivalent to this three force system. So for that, this single force should be have effect of these three forces. Fr will be equals to F1 plus F2 plus F3, but we don't know the distance of this force. So let it be this distance of this resultant force is at a distance of D from this grip provided at left hand. Okay, now what is the value of D? How to find? So let's apply a Varignon's theorem. What does it says? The movement of a resultant about a point will be equals to movement of a individual forces or individual force components about the same point. So if we apply this theorem to take movement about the point over which we have provided grip, so this resultant will give movement of Fr into D, and that should be equals to F1 into D1 plus F2 into D2 and plus F3 into D3. So this is the condition of equilibrium. So for the strip should be in equilibrium condition, this statement should be satisfied, that is movement of a resultant about any point origin point will be equals to the movement generated by the individual forces about the same point. So in next session we'll move towards the numericals over this moment of a couple and calculation of resultant and position of the resultant. So today we will stop here.